Hey guys, I hope you're all having a great day, and I've received so many comments complaining about the FPS this season. A lot of people have noticed that they've received a drop in FPS when playing on the Olympus map compared to what they previously experienced. After taking a look around the Olympus map myself, I've noticed that one of the possible factors contributing to this FPS drop is most likely the new Olympus skybox. If we take a close look at the city below, we can see that it's actually all 3D. Everything is rendered out, and there's a surprising amount of detail in the city below. That's probably why it looks so freaking good. But of course, having to render in all those extra buildings and all that extra stuff is definitely going to be a part of the reason why your FPS is a little bit lower. Now obviously this is already pretty optimized, but the fact that there is so much detail in this city definitely makes me think that this is one of the major reasons as to why so many people are experiencing lag, which they previously didn't experience. Now the reason why this is interesting is because Arenas faces a similar thing to this. When you're playing on Arenas, a lot of the Arenas maps require large sections of the map to be rendered out anyways. Let's take Skulltown for example. All the areas on Kings Canyon which are within your line of sight from the Skulltown Arenas map will have to be rendered in, but all the areas that you cannot see from Skulltown, well, they can go ahead and be cut out. They don't have to be rendered on that Arenas map, and that will save you some FPS. Now with that being said, I did want to talk about one more thing, and that is with maps in general in Apex. Every single map we've gotten so far is entirely unique. Kings Canyon, World's Edge, Storm Point, and Olympus are all different, and they all have their very own styles, and that is pretty freaking crazy to me. The fact that Respawn is designing all of these different maps as well as all of these different legends and keeping them unique in this entire process really is pretty amazing. Heck, it even applies to the weapons that we have. Every single weapon we've received so far is unique in its own way, but this is definitely going to become an issue in the future. Respawn has said a couple of times in the past that they plan to make the game last 10 years, or at least that was a goal they had at the time, and since the game is currently on its third year, well, that's 7 more years of content that they have to make, which is unique. Now considering the fact that we get a new map every single year, that's 7 more maps that we're going to be getting for Apex unless they start slowing down the rate of content they're producing. The same thing goes for weapons. They're already slowing that down, and we can see that start to happen. They move the longbow and the flatline out of ground loot so that they can free up some more space and make things more flexible, and the current amount of weapons is already pretty freaking good. Adding in a new weapon every single season or even every other season might change a lot of the balance in the loot pool, and Respawn might have to resort to taking out weapons in order to keep the loot pool as balanced as it could be. And yes, I know, certain games have a lot more weapons than Apex. Those are also different games. Apex and its current weapon pool is already very well designed, and it's also very well balanced. If we add in too many weapons, it's definitely going to throw off that balance, and especially for new players, it's just going to be a confusing mess. As we progress through the seasons and as Apex gets more and more weapons, we're definitely going to be seeing more of these weapons get rotated out, either into the crafting system or simply rotated out of the loot pool for the time being. This also creates a problem with the reactive skins that we have so far, as a lot of the Battle Pass reactive skins are on weapons that might possibly get rotated out. The longbow and the flatline both have reactive skins, and they've already been rotated into the replicator. Of course, that's completely different from simply being removed from the loot pool, but this might be something that we see in the future, so I definitely keep an eye out for that. And of course, the same thing goes for maps. There's simply no way that Apex can fit every single map that they create into the map rotation. That would be chaos, especially in the future when we might have like 7 or 8 maps, which is pretty freaking crazy. Some of the older maps will have less and less attention as we move on through the years. The original maps like Kings Canyon and World's Edge might have less and less time in the spotlight, and so while it is sad to see, who knows what we might be thinking in 3 or 4 years. At that point, we might be completely tired of World's Edge and Kings Canyon, and we might not even want to play on them anymore, as some of the newer maps might be designed just so much better. We'll have to wait and see what Respawn has in store for us. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm going to be ending it here because I don't want to drag this out for too long. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Respawn and their future plans for adding more maps into the game. How many maps do you think is the optimal point, and how many maps do you think is too much? I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think, and of course, as always, stay safe, and I'll see ya in the next one. Peace out.